Hello, I would like to tell you today the incredible, mundane, and yet true story of how I shared an intimate moment with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is kind of the Mansa Musa of our time. Mansa Musa is one of my favorite characters from history. This is a guy who was so rich in in the trading kingdoms of Africa that he started giving away gold on his trip to Mecca. He's a very famous Muslim, and on his trip, which they call the Hajj, he would throw gold to the people, and he threw so much gold it actually inflated the price of gold. This guy was loaded. Bill Gates is often referred to as like the richest man in the world. Or at least he was, right? I did some research on this, right? He's not even close, right? There's this other guy named Prince Mohammed, and the Mohammed Saudi family is worth over 1.4 trillion, right? The current richest man in the world, right? A lot of people say it's Bezos, right? This guy is like not like Bezos is 140 billion, right? So it's roughly like, Salman is not like 2 times as big as Bezos. He's like 10 times as big, right? But Bill Gates, unfortunately, he's not a very savvy businessman. He gives his money away. Right now, because he does a lot of charity work, right? That's his full-time. Can you imagine if your full-time job was giving money away? That's what Bill does. But anyways, we're not talking about him because he's rich. We're talking about him because he shared an intimate moment with me. But, I just, in case you were wondering, who's this Bill guy? So basically, I was hanging out by this place called Arriaga. It's like a dining hall. Arriaga, another guy with a lot of money. Basically, he named all the buildings at Stanford after him. There's like 3 Arriagas. That's a big mess. But this one in particular is Arriaga Family Dining Commons. This is a place where people eat food and stuff. And I was passing by there on my bike, kind of jamming. This is a picture of me, roughly what I looked like. I was kind of, having my headphones in on my bike, wearing a helmet. I do wear a helmet when I bike. I'm not crazy. You'll be surprised, all right? You think people who go to Stanford are smart? Well, look at how many are wearing helmets, okay? A lot of idiots. A lot of people who don't care, right? You invest so much in the brain, but you don't invest in $50 to protect it. They can't mess with the hairdo, right? It's a mess. Anyways, I was there bopping along to, what was I listening to? Probably an audiobook. Love audiobooks. It's the only time I never sit down and read, though. Oh man, it's so difficult for me. But the audiobooks, it's helpful. I'm on my commute, and there I am bopping along. And what do I see out of the corner? Oh, and I was running late. Sorry, I was running late to class. I wasn't always on time to class. I wasn't maybe the best student in college, but I was like, all right, I gotta get there. I gotta start biking fast. So here I am. I'm biking fast. Lance Armstrong in it, down the road, past Arriaga. Arriaga's on my right. And then on my left, I see this guy, all right? This old man. Honestly, he doesn't look anything like that. He looked kind of like a turtle. And I squint. I stop. I squint. I kind of lean in. I'm like, do I know this guy? Like, I feel like I've seen this guy somewhere. And I got a picture here just so you can see the play-by-play. So I was walking down this road. Biking. Coming from, I think I was living in Mirrlees at the time. Here's Arriaga. We just talked about that. And then, boom, out of the corner of my eye, I'm looking here, right? And I enhance. I'm squinting now. Really, like, leaning over my bike. Like, it's very obvious. I'm, like, gawking at whoever the hell this is. By the way, this is just a recreation. The person running here, this is not the person I saw. This is a picture taken at a different time, obviously. And I'm looking at this guy. And suddenly I realized, holy cow, it's Bill Gates. And he looks back at me. And I'm still like squinting, like he was probably like kind of annoyed. Like I was like, I don't know if my face expression is coming across, but I was like, is that Bill Gates? Like, huh? And he just turns to me, and he looks me dead in the eyes, and he says, yeah, bitch. But not, he doesn't say it, he doesn't verbalize it. He just kind of looks at me, and he does it, he non-verbally communicates that to me. He says, like, that's what he does. He gives me one of those. We're looking at each other, he's like, and I'm like, and he's like, and that was our moment. That was our intimate moment. I was like, oh shit, and I just kept biking, and I gotta admit, at the back of my mind, my mom, she would always tell me, she's like, if you meet Bill Gates, you gotta kidnap him. Because if you kidnap Bill Gates, you become the richest man in the world, right? It's kind of like they have like those Spartan, violent society where it's like, if you kill the king, you become the king. It was kind of like that. Like, she was like, if you kidnap the richest person in the world, you become the richest person in the world, right? Something like that. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, can I take this guy? No, not really, but that thought definitely came to my mind. I was like, holy shit, like I should do something, right? Like, it's Bill fucking Gates. Like, maybe I should take a picture with him, or like, I don't know, say hi. But he already thinks I'm probably such a weirdo because I'm like squeezing my eyeballs at him, and now I'm making a YouTube video about some random moment that he probably didn't even think was that intimate, but has affected me on a deep metaphysical level. All right, whatever. So anyways, I get to class, and all the students are there, and they're like, so why are you late this time, Matthew? And I'm like, I just saw Bill Gates. And they were like, psh, his daughter goes to school here. And I was like, what? No way. And it turns out he's got some kid, and she goes to school there, and it was like, I don't know, parent visit week or something like that. So he was there. And the question I always get follow-up questions for this story. People are always like, well, if you saw Bill Gates, wasn't he with a bodyguard? And the answer is no. So if you were wondering if Bill Gates is, lying in that protection, the answer is no. The guy is accessible. So, I'm not saying you're going to do anything, but if you're going to do anything, there might not be a lot of people in the way. At least at Stanford campus. So that was the story. I met Bill Gates. Thanks for watching. In the next story, the next strange encounter, I'm going to tell you about what was an incredibly scary experience. I was actually in my girlfriend at the time, the very handsome Amy Chen. I was living in her apartment, and somebody broke into the apartment. There was a home invasion. Somebody entered the apartment while I was in it. However, I was completely naked. And that is a very, very wild story that I will tell you in the next one. Until then, subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed my incredibly mundane story of meeting Bill Gates, and I will see you in the next one. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll answer them. Thanks.